So this says peace, love, and seasonal fruit. I just happen to be wearing it. But yeah, so this is part 2 of the topic of like veganism, like why I'm choosing veganism without shaming or judging others. Just some reasons, some rational, ethical, moral, just opinion, you know what I'm saying? Not trying to go around judging anyone, but yeah, let's continue on the video anyway. So here's some ideas, and I'm just free rolling of like why veganism, for me at least, and why many others as well, just to put it out there in one video, you know. So this is part 2, so I made some more ethical and sort of common sense and sort of rational things in part 1, and in this video I wanted to I went out with my family and children. We went to like swings and see, so I had some little bit of thoughts and I want to share them with you now. And some is treat others like you like to be treated. So yeah, that kind of goes in part 1 a lot. Treat others like the way you like to be treated. If you don't want to be killed, don't kill. If you don't want to be robbed or exploited or captured or kept in a field all your life, or kept in a town all your life, or used as a commodity, or treated or thought of like a thing to be gained from, but at your loss of freedom, your loss of life, your loss of health, your loss of well-being, your loss of nice treatment, your loss of love and care, your loss of being with your family and children, or your parents or your brothers and sisters, then don't do that to others, you know. Just pretty basic, simple philosophy here. It's like universal, it's all religions. Do unto others like you'd like to have done unto you. So if you don't want your children, family, parents, brothers, sisters taken from you, killed, used, exploited, then don't do that. You know, it's just an idea. You don't have to go along with that, but it's in religion, all religions, and a basic spiritual philosophy for a reason. And I'm just coming from a basic common sense / natural / spiritual philosophy in this video. That's where I come from. You know, I'm not following any one particular religion. So yeah, hi Matt. So yeah, and then there's another thought and idea is if you can't make it, if you don't break it, if you can't fix it, don't break it if you can't fix it, or don't destroy life if you can't make life. So like once you take away a life, you can't get it back again. It's like, at least if you rob somebody's house or some money, or like, you can get those materials and money back again. But don't break something you can't make, you know. Like, it's just common sense. Like, it's the severity or the degree of a loss. Like, if you don't want someone to make you bloody and sore or painful, or at least kill you, just consider erring on the side of caution, on the side of peacefulness. Don't risk it doing it to another person, you know what I'm saying? It's not your risk if you do it to another person, but yeah, you get the gist. Err on the side of caution, err on the side of love, err on the safe side that has the love and the peace and the kindness on it. The other side has like the other things which I won't even mention, I won't even get into, you know. It's like pain, hurt, sadness, loss, suffering for so many, not even the one that's killed, but like if your family member is taken from you through an act of killing, murder, or an accident, that's sad for your family. In the same way as like, even if one is killed or two is killed in the family, that's sad for the family, you know. It's not just, you don't just affect the one you hurt or take or capture, it's a lot of them. So yeah, err on the side of love and caution and kindness, you know. And then another thought is, what else? Yeah, so, and I touched on this in part 1, like imagine we think we're maybe better or more evolved or advanced or mature or developed or more in our consciousness than animals, yeah. But like I said in part 1, like, disabled humans or babies or children are all less than the adults as well. But that doesn't mean they have any less right to life, less right to peace, less right to freedom for suffering, less right to be treated, less rights to be treated with dignity, love, care, and respect. We all do. So it's not about intelligence, it's not about like looks, it's not even about maturity, development, or consciousness, because there's other alienated species who are far more advanced than us, far more. But that, if you think that gives them the right to come along and slave, impregnate, capture, take our women, our daughters, our youth, kill our boys, you know, treat us with that type of, like, just capture us, purely just use us like a thing so they can gain money, I don't think you'd agree with that. Because if you do, then give them a call now and ask them to come along and hurt, take, or kill any of your family members, or your brothers and sisters, your pets, your children, your family. Because I know you don't agree with that. and it doesn't make sense, and I don't agree with that either. So it's not about like just being more like advanced or, you know, more mature, more developed, either technologically or physically stronger. Just because you're physically stronger and you have power over another, that doesn't mean you should abuse that power. If anything, if you have more power and strength, you should use that as a sense of responsibility to protect and love and care for those who are more vulnerable and more in a state of need, like more vulnerable. Like care for the young, care for the old, care for the less developed, care for the less grown, care for the less conscious. You use power for responsibility, not for exploitation. So that's a beautiful thing about power. But to be honest, I feel it's like part of our consciousness probably. If we aren't as conscious as we could be, then we'll use our power for hurting others instead of protecting and loving others and nurturing others and building and constructing. That's what love is. It's constructive, it's building, it's alkaline, it's just alkaline in a metaphor. It builds, nourishes, it looks after, it cares for, it enriches. It's like a motherly energy. But the fatherly or the masculine energy is more like protective, like don't hurt, like I want to keep my loved ones, my family, my tribe, my people, my children safe. Now I have a very protective energy, I've been told by like a psychic. It actually said to my partner, to be honest. He's very protective, and I know I'm very protective. I'm very protective over everybody. Other humans and animals as well, other people, other children, other people. Yeah, I care for people and I care for animals and I care for even plants. Some people might say, well, what about like people, vegetarians or vegans? If they eat plants, like what about the plants? And I agree, like there's some arguments to be made for non-veganism too. There's an environmental factor, like what if you eat like locally sourced, grass fed, like, you know, free range, all the girls in the field away from, separated from the families, etc. Or what if they even happen with their families, still killing is very sad. In my opinion, like the kill unnecessary is a somewhat disgusting for me act that's unnecessary, and there's no real positive except for the person who eats it, and a big loss for everybody else, including the family. And yeah, it's a big loss, it's irreplaceable. But I hear like non-vegan dieters like perspectives. I appreciate hearing from them. There is pros and cons of everything. Like there's a pro and con of cannibalism about humans too. I don't agree with like capturing and killing and eating other humans, which still happens in parts of the world and has happened throughout human history. I get it, but if there's other options, I think it's nicer and erring on the side of caution to not kill another human being and eat them, or an animal. And about plants, like animals and humans are far more alike than just like animals or humans and plants. It's very different biologically speaking in terms of the suffering that we know it causes. Ultimately, I think it'd be the most safest and the most on the side of caution, using the rationale and the points that I've made, to not eat plants either. So that's where eating fruits only or even breatharian can come in, when we reach that level of physical health and energetical vitality and mental and emotional maturity or health and well-being, also to be able to gradually switch to the more pranic living, which is aka breatharian. Fruitarian is far easier by a long shot. I'm much more drawn to eating as much fruits, to all fruits as I can, and it's actually when I do that, it's just my consciousness and my emotional, mental and physical health and maturity to stop me from doing that more continuously, because I have some attachments, mental or maybe even emotional, to food, and I have some physical power to gain, so I don't detox as much, and I'm mental emotional maturity so I can deal with emotional or physical detox, so I can keep sticking with the fruits. But all in all, I think it's definitely a safer bet and different to eat a plant than an animal. And we could also eat some leaves or nuts and seeds and fruits, and all of which the plant isn't killed. So roots kills the plants. Eating too many leaves or taking all the leaves from a plant won't necessarily kill it, but it will like impair it a great deal, because it will grow back with the power of the roots. But yeah, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't feel I'm a hypocrite. I'm giving fair points, just pros and cons. Like, for example, going back to what I was saying earlier, like let's say you eat a vegan diet where you're eating everything, like cooked food, like grains, you're having this, that, and the other, everything. You can be more unhealthy than eating like just pure natural, like simple, like food like our great ancestors would have eaten purely from the land. It could, even if it is like coming from animals. Not that I'd want to do that. Like, I don't want to eat animals. I love animals. They're like my babies, like my children. They're my friends. They're my family. I love them. I have a deep connection with animals. I have a very big, deep connection with nature too, and the plants and humans. I love humans. They're gorgeous. I love them. They're such beautiful creatures. I think humans are a beautiful, innocent, and kind species. Really are. I'll get into why, and I'll get into even explaining why more stuff like war and poverty exists, and that's not because of humans. It's more like because of the reptilians and the old world order, and it involves even ETs, who are trying to control and manipulate and suppress the consciousness of the humanity. So, yeah. So I hope you feel and understand and get my care for humans and plants and animals. And I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. I'm just trying to be fair and kind as possible to everybody. Give everyone a chance, you know. Give everyone a chance. Give animals a chance. Give humans a chance. We're all doing our best. We're all doing our best. We try and we learn as we go along. So that's nice. So yeah, the last thing I can think of, which is like what some people who don't eat a vegan diet might say, if you eat just like really in your locality, and I learned this from my friend, like that can be more like environmentally friendly than like having things that have been flown in all throughout the world for someone who eats a vegan diet to eat. So it's more like, you know, efficient in terms of fuel and that type of stuff and pollution. But I still don't, like, if that was applied to like human slavery in the locality, eat local human slaves and enslave them and just think of them as things, and you don't really fully value and care for their life. Otherwise you'd never kill your mum because you fully value and care for her. So it's the same thing I was trying to be earlier. You can't just have one rule for you and another rule for another thing. It has to all line up and be common sense and apply to everybody. You can't just like pick and choose, like, you know, like some people say you can't have your cake and eat it, but I'm not sure if that's the most perfect analogy. You can't have one rule for you and another for another person and act like that's logic or rational. It's like, that's like biased, and especially it's not fair if it's biased in your favor. Like, try to be biased against yourself and see how it feels. So again, like, treat it just like you like to be treated. So yeah, that's all I want to say. Have a nice day. Lots of love. Thanks for watching.